Hi friends, it's Lisa Hetrick. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and blog. Today I am sharing a whimsical, fast and loose kind of watercolor project with this gorgeous little dandelion. Okay, so let's just dive in. I've got some supplies here. I have two different paint sets that I'm using. I have a Da Vinci watercolor set and I have some White Nights watercolor. I have some water, a little palette, and a towel. I'm using some of my silver black velvet brushes, and I'm using my Be Creative 100% cotton watercolor journal. And this is a spiral bound journal, and I just really like using this for fast and loose and sketchy like projects that I want to do some practicing in. And because it is spiral bound and I'm a lefty, I tend to turn it in the opposite direction or vertically or turn it horizontally. Okay, so here is the Da Vinci palette that I'm using. It's called Joyce's Mother Green Da Vinci palette, and I just love the greens in this palette. I also love the greens in this one. This is a set of White Nights watercolors that I just kind of custom put in this little art bin case. And you could use whatever you have on hand, and all of the links will be listed below in the description. So I'm getting started here with a little light pencil work. I tend to not ever do this. I tend to never draw out what I'm going to do. But this time I was like, let's just do this funky little wildflower dandelion and just kind of draw it out from memory. So I've just loosely sketched this in. And again, when you're working with flowers and you're sketching, you just work with the just big shapes and then let your watercolor and brush kind of do all of the other work. So I'm just loosely sketching this in and just having some fun with it. And again, this is fast and loose watercolor. We're just doing this for practice and for fun and just because there's lots of dandelions in the summer and I just love looking at them. All right, we're just going to dive in and I've got some lemon yellow watercolor here and this is from the White Nights line and I'm just dipping my brush in it and adding it to my palette. So I'm just creating a big pool of this yellow watercolor here and I'm just using my brush on its side and dropping this color in. So I'm not doing any kind of long brush strokes here. I'm just playing with it and just dropping this watercolor in. And I got it a little bit too juicy, so I'm going to go back in and clean off my brush and just add a little bit more. And this time I'm going to focus on letting my brush dance across the paper. So you can see that I'm starting with the tip of the brush and I'm just bending it a little bit and I'm getting these little seed pod like brush strokes. And I really enjoy painting where we let the brush dance across the paper and let it do its thing by using different kinds of brush strokes to create that dimension and texture that I want to create with these florals. So I'm digging the way that looks. That little layer of lemon yellow underneath it just kind of gives it a little bit of extra pop and I'm just digging it. So I'm going to take some of that Joyce's Mother Green mix from Da Vinci. I really like this green. It's kind of dark and moody and it just reminded me a lot of weeds and dandelions. So I'm just kind of following the flow and using the tip of my brush here to just create the body of this dandelion. And I'm following the flow of the lines I put in with pencil, but really super loosely. And my hand is just super loose and I'm just playing with the brush and the paint and just having some fun with it. It's super wonky, and I would encourage you just with these fast and loose watercolor projects, this is all about warming up, getting out your supplies, playing a little bit, not really worrying about what the outcome of your project is going to look like, but really just getting comfortable with your brush, your paints, and having some fun with just some fun techniques here and creating some texture. Now you can see that Joyce's mother's green, it's a moody green. It can be dark, it can be light, it can be dark, dropped in dark, and it's just kind of super fun to play with. I've watered it down quite a bit, so I'm getting some blooming with this color, but I'm loving it. I'm just loving the way this looks. It's super moody. It's got a lot of granulation in it, and it just moves around kind of fun. So this dandelion shape is starting to come together, but it's very fast, loose, kind of abstract. I'm not going for a botanical look here. And I'm just going to start to just create those little whimsical, wishy things that fly off of dandelions and just toss them around on the outer edge here, like they're flying through the air. And again, this is all about loosening up and having some fun and playing. And I just would encourage you to just get out your supplies, no matter what they are, and just give this little weed a go. The dandelion, the color of the dandelion is so beautiful. So I know that a lot of people feel like they're a nuisance in their garden, but I really enjoy them. I just think they're really pretty, and I never pick them. I just kind of let them do their thing and go and reseed. So I was kind of inspired because I started to see them in my garden, and that's why I'm painting them today. Okay, so I'm just kind of going in. Things are drying up here, and I'm just going to go in and add a little bit more texture on top of what I've already done. And I'm just using the tip of my brush with that lemon yellow and just adding little teardrop shapes, which is pulling together this flower and kind of giving it its composition here, giving it shape to the flower. The dandelion just has all of these little tiny petals, so when you use your brush to create this petal effect, you can pull all of those petals together to create that shape of the dandelion. Okay, I'm going to turn on a little music and just kind of, if you're painting along with me, I'm just adding in some finishing details and just kind of getting into the flow with the watercolor here and having some fun. So let's just turn on a little music and paint together. So I think I'm pretty much finished with this little wildflower, and I'm just adding in a little bit of splatter and just kind of seeing if there's any other place I want to add a little bit of color. And I'm really digging it. I just kind of like it. All of that moody green, and it was just really fun to just paint with you today. Thanks so much for watching. Please consider sharing the joy by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. And you can take a look at some of my other card and watercolor tutorials right here. Again, I'm so grateful you could join me, and I'll see you next time.